into this live show.
Here we are. Hello. Hello,
Hi.
everyone, and welcome to the Clockwork Princess Live Show. Woo! So, I'm going to tweet. Oh, thank you. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
There's
look at us.
Oh my God, we all match.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yep.
A smooch.
Perfect.
Well, I'm going to tweet that we're live, but why don't we start with Miss Daryan, and you can share your rating and everything.
I'm Daryan. From Daryan Reads. I gave it 5 stars. Hi. And that's all the time we have for today. Well, I'm Kasey, and I gave this originally a 3.5, but the more I thought about it, it's a 3.
Oh no.
How can you do this? I can get into it if you want. I can't believe.
Wait. Hi.
Oh my God.
I'm Lisa. You're on my channel. Here we are. I gave it 5 stars. Who's surprised? No one. Yeah. So we got 5 stars and a 3-star.
Let's fight.
Let's just say 2 against 1. Here we go.
Why I am.
Hello.
Zello.
I gave it 4 stars.
Perfectly in the middle. I'll accept 4.
Be the voice of reason in between.
Yeah. Kendra will balance us out.
Well, where do we start?
I was just going to say,
There's a lot to unpack. There's just I don't even know what to bring up first.
All right, let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
We got a big worm.
Oh.
Which is one of the best things I've ever read.
Yeah,
which is Will Herondale.
He was so happy.
Did you say the worm is Will Herondale? In more than just one way.
Oh.
Excuse me. There was a lot of funny lines involving the worm.
Yeah.
Listen, it's what we all want.
They all love each other so much.
Yep.
Why didn't she do it? We don't know.
Okay, for example, when Will hears about the worm, he says, "A 40-foot worm? Think of the size of the fish we could catch." Oh, he's such a silly boy. He was a silly boy. He's still a silly boy. What do you
I feel like we need to direct this conversation to Miss Kasey.
Yeah.
The 3-star.
What's your problem?
I wasn't going to go quite.
What's your problem? Nasal Squidward comes out. What's your problem? Well, I could tell you more about what I didn't like of this book than what I did like. And I think it's more about the Infernal Devices as a series, not just specifically this book. But I just feel like Mortmain as a villain, so uninteresting. Yeah. Also, the clockwork creatures. Sorry, but I've read bigger and badder and scarier things. You don't do anything for me. Just
yeah.
Crack your bones and go away, So I just feel like the whole, the issue or the main, plot of this book isn't very interesting. And then I feel like in this book, I didn't, in the second book, I was kind of starting to feel chemistry between all 3 of the characters and the love, whatever you want to call it, the V or the triangle, I don't know what the shape it is. But in this one, I just felt like it kind of leaned more towards Will, and I was like Will and Tessa, and I was like,
as it should.
Like, what is Jem doing here? And like this man is turned into, what is it?
A silent brother?
He's turned into a silent brother. Within, no one talks about it. And then like a page later, Will and Tessa are boning.
Okay.
I was prepared.
Me too.
I'm not done. I am not done.
Okay.
And they're boning, and they're like, oh, like my best friend and my fiance just died. Guess it's time to move on and just like bone each other. Which like everyone grieves differently. I'm not, but like I don't love it, especially because like if my best friend died, hello, you two, having sex would be the last thing on my mind.
Yeah, well.
And then he's turned into a silent brother, and everyone just goes with it. No one like, where was the lead up to that? There was no clues that it was going to happen, and like no one talked about it afterwards. Like, who was thinking that way until it happened? No one. And everyone was just fine with it, and then everyone was paired off, and I felt like every conversation between all the characters were super forced, or it was like, oh, like here's their chemistry, this is why I'm writing them together, but it was like no casual moments. I don't know. I do know. It was a 3-star. By the end of it, I was like, let's just get this over with.
Oh, I do know. Okay, some of that I agree with, some of that I don't agree with. The silent brother stuff I do agree with, because I at the end of, what was it, City of Lost Souls, when I was like, oh, is Jem brother Zachariah? And then I was like, but I don't remember how that comes about. And then as I was reading this book, I was like, where? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, he died, but I was like, but we know he doesn't die. And then it was like, yeah, he's a silent brother, and I was like, all right.
It was just like, yeah, he's a silent brother, let's move on. And it was like, wait a second. Like, I would have liked to see, like, maybe it got edited out or something, but where like Jem made that decision, or where he said that. I think that would have been a good addition.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it was we as like readers, we weren't supposed to know that happened, because when you're in like Charlotte's perspective, I think, and she's like thinking about Jem, and the way it's written, it's very clearly like could be interpreted like he died, but she knows that they were trying to do that. They were trying to turn him into a silent brother. So it was supposed to be like, we weren't supposed to know. Like how Will and Tessa didn't know.
Yeah, but even like once like we found out and like the shock was revealed, it was like he's just a silent brother. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, what did you want after? Like, I'm not trying to. Like, what do you want? I want to understand like what.
Like more of like a reaction to it. I feel like everyone was just like, oh, he's a shadow or a silent brother,
Well, that's like, on Jem being underappreciated.
True.
But also something that I noticed at like, I think it was towards the beginning of the book. He said something about he didn't want to be a silent brother or something. Let me find the page.
Oh, she took notes.
Oh, I took so many notes. And I was looking through everything I wrote down, and a lot of it is just me yelling, Jem!
Aww.
Oh, I found a foreshadowing thing.
Wait, let me finish my...
Okay, yes, he said.
Well, he said he's explaining why the silent brothers, like, that's not something that he could do. But then and it's not much of a life they have, silent brothers, shadows and darkness, silence and no music. And besides, I do not wish to live forever. And then he did it.
I highlighted the same page.
Yeah.
When she says a silent brother, then the codex says that the runes they put upon themselves are powerful enough to arrest their mortality. And I was like, So.
Will and Tessa were mindless at the time. But yeah.
Okay. So, okay. to defend Will and Tessa in this situation.
Oh, yeah, I have
For
a
being
PowerPoint presentation.
scheming cheaters.
They're not cheaters.
Gasp.
Okay, the way I saw it is that they just experienced like one of the worst, losses of both of their lives. And like I feel like it would be weird in any if this was real life and like my best friend or my fiance died and I was like, well, time to move on. But because it's this specific like relationship that these three have with each other, and also the fact that they thought they were gonna die the next day, like I would understand why, like, if you're in love with two people, you just found out one of them died, the other one just came to rescue you, you thought you were gonna die alone, and then he's here and you love him and he loves you and you think you're gonna die and he's gonna die. I can understand why they would want to like personally, I don't understand because I'm like, why would you want to do that? But I can understand why they'd want to do that,
Yes. And I think part of it is also like, I think Daryan feels the same as me, where we really love these characters. So it's just like the love that all of them have is so like, just I love it so much. So seeing that like doesn't bother me as much because I love all of them.
Yeah.
Also, adding to Jem is an angel, point number a million. When he's on his deathbed and he wakes up and he overhears Will to Magnus being like, I love Tessa or whatever. And he's like, what did Magnus mean by that? First of all, iconic.
The tears.
Second of all, this boy finds out that his bestie, his parabatai, was actually in love with Tessa the whole time as well. His first instinct is, oh shoot, I wish I had known, I wouldn't have acted on it, I wouldn't have proposed. A king. So generous, so thoughtful, doesn't think of his feelings at all. But anyway, does that. Then his next thought is, oh, like, clearly you love her. He doesn't know, and Will doesn't know that Tessa also loves Will that way too. So he's like, she will eventually come to love you like that because there's no way she won't. And I give you my blessing. So he gave them his blessing. And like you were saying, like they thought they were like, when Will goes to Tessa, he's like, yeah, I'm probably going to die tomorrow. And she's like, yeah, my whole life, I'm probably going to be subjected to doing this situation with a man who I don't love and is just going to use me. So it's like, I can kind of understand why they would be like, let's take advantage of this time where we're all alive and happy and not being subjected to this by someone we don't care about and be able to experience it at least once with someone who cares.
Branching off of that though, totally respect it. That's fair. And but my question is, and like there's no right or wrong answer, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like I kind of got the impression with this book that Tessa loved Will first and more, but because of circumstances surrounding Jem, it was like more important to love Jem right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with that. I think the first book, she very clearly, those feelings with Will come about first. So you're not wrong. And I think she comes to love Jem eventually. I think both, like we've talked about this before, I think the way that their relationships are, the way she loves them is different. And what else did you just say? There's something else I wanted to say.
Like Jem being sick.
Oh, how like this definitely was more of like Will and Tessa's time.
Yeah.
I think. In which we do eventually learn because Jem is a silent brother. And then later on, years later in 2008, he's like, hey, I'm fine, I'm back. What up? And then they get their time then.
Yeah. Speaking of that though, where we are in the Mortal Instruments, has he turned back into Jem?
So City of Lost Souls, the last Mortal Instrument book that we just read, he's still brother Zachariah.
So like Clockwork Princess spoiled us for that.
Well, but technically he's in this series, so
How did they spoil it?
That he's gonna not be a silent. He's gonna turn back into a regular person
But does that
at some point.
but that doesn't really have anything to do with the mortal instruments. He's just kind of there.
Well, yeah, but it's still like a plot reveal in the Mortal Instruments that, like, if you didn't read this, you wouldn't have known what was going to happen.
Right. And as someone who read the Mortal Instruments before reading The Infernal Devices, I read the final book and I was like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, this is the series Gem is a part of, so I think it makes sense to have that reveal.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not upset about that. I just, like, when I finished the epilogue, I was like, wait, like, I don't remember Gem already, turning back in the Mortal Instruments, or, like, where we left off. So I was like, that's kind of weird on her part, like, in just the publishing order, that, like, before she released this book, I feel like the Mortal Instruments should have wrapped up.
But we'll see when we get to City of Heavenly Fire, but it would have spoiled the end of this book if we had known that Gem was Brother Zachariah the whole time.
That's fair.
And then it would have spoiled the end of this series, which that's more significant. Yeah, it's kind of hard to... Yeah. City of Heavenly Fire would have spoiled how this book ended if we didn't.
Yeah. Can you go to the Reinhardt comment? Yes. I think I was just so confused because it was like in the epilogue, it was like he just turned back to being a human, and it was like, what the? Like, I feel like that's also like a pretty key part, but like it doesn't really explain much. He just showed up to their meeting at the bridge, and Tessa was like, "Oh my god, you're a human."
I thought it was explained, but maybe I'm wrong because I can't think of why.
Is that something we're gonna see at all in City of Heavenly Fire?
I think so.
Is
I don't remember.
Zachariah just all of a sudden gonna be like, "Well, goodbye, off I go."
He sheds his skin, and a shadow hunter comes out.
Oh my god! I just opened at a page and I can't even look at it.
No. Either way, one book would spoil the other regardless which came first. Yeah. I just think it definitely made more sense to have that in before that City of Heavenly Fire. I guess I should probably specify what book I mean.
Yes.
One thing that I want to say that really doesn't have much to go off of, but it's something I want to acknowledge. Jem wrote a song on his violin. That's all. That's all. Everyone is their love is important. Get you a man. And what does Will do? He just is mean to you. Just kidding.
Okay.
But I'm just saying.
I will not accept any Will slander.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Wait, Lisa, do you have a favorite?
Well, for Tessa or just in general?
Oh, in general.
Oh, in Jem.
Okay. I
love Will.
Yeah. But Jem's baby.
But Jem is literally one of my favorite characters ever. Yeah. Because he's just a soft boy. And I love him.
He's just a good boy.
I love Will so much.
Exactly. But I don't dislike Will. I love Will. I don't know. Jem's just a good boy.
Yes. Sorry.
I just like this child because he's like 17, 18.
Yeah.
Literally is dying for half of his life and also just like accepts it with grace and is just so kind to everyone. He could be so mean to people. I feel like I've said this before.
Will.
He could just take it out on everybody else, but he doesn't. He just treats people with kindness. Harry Styles, am I right?
Harry Styles, are you listening?
Are you listening? And then like this whole book is pretty like it doesn't end happy for him until the epilogue. Like he dies and then becomes not a shadow hunter, a silent brother, and has to live this life of like solitude. He can't be with the people he loves. He gets to see Tessa once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Can't play his violin. Like this, and he's just so good. Like he's just so good through all of it.
Some might say he's too good. Like he's not rough around the edges, you know? That's what I like about Will.
I love how you love every soft boy.
Yeah.
You're like, that's okay, unless it's Jem.
I need a little angst in there. Like my number one priority is grumpy men, okay? And Will is the grumpiest.
Well, he's
Hence why I love him so much. Also, for my own personal feelings of the world isn't fair, I feel like I felt this way when I read this book for the first time when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16. And I feel this way now. I feel like it's not fair that Tessa can end up with both of them.
So true. If I was Tessa, I also wouldn't choose.
Like, simply pick one and that's what you get.
Yeah, I feel like I like how it ended.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you are skeptical of who Tessa really loves, she never had to pick.
Yeah.
It always the world kind of picked for her.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, well, then who do you love more? But
I mean, yeah.
If you're just here along for the ride, giving books 3 stars, it really doesn't matter. Kasey.
I mean, also, like, obviously it's possible to be in love with 2 people, as she is, clearly.
I don't know about that.
Well, I think so. Right.
Agree.
I'd be moody if I were him. Oh, I'm already moody. So
right? Like so many people would just be so awful.
I'd make it everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Being in love with 2 people at once.
I just feel like, yeah. I feel like in a book, it seems kind of like a cop-out to just be like, well, she ends up with both of them and she doesn't have to choose. And I'm like, okay.
but that's not, like, they just love each other so much.
I know.
I know, Lisa. They're there.
I know, they do. I feel like we didn't talk enough about the worm, though.
We're really on it. But I feel like it's interesting, before we move on to the worm,
I do have other things to say other than the worm and the
yeah, and like not to, like I'm not spoiling the Dark Artifices, but Cassandra Clare does write a polyamorous couple in the future.
Does she really?
Yes. So I just would love more insight on why she, if Lisa, you know this, why she didn't make that same decision with the 3 of them, because I feel like that's the only instance where, like, I'm like, yeah, you can love as many people as you want, but like they're not poly in this. So it's like I kind of feel like I'm calling BS. You know?
I do think it could just be to like the time that she wrote the book. She maybe just didn't think that could be. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm not saying could have. It would have been a girl boss move, but I think that maybe she just didn't. That wasn't something she knew about, and so then she didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like an actual reason.
Yeah.
If she said, but
like sorry. No. I feel like Cassandra would. Sorry. I just want to say, I feel like Cassandra would have a reason. She has a reason. I want to hear it. She's like, this is
I want to hear
these 3 are poly, and this is why these 3 are not. And I'm like, let me know, because Will and Jem are straight.
I think if this was a modern story, also if it was written later, I think she would have. I think it was just the timing of when she wrote these books. Yes, Daryan.
I also, because I think this is something that's in the Dark Artifices, but like Parabatai aren't allowed to marry each other, right? So
Right.
I feel like if she did that, that would just be a whole other plot point. And there's already a lot of plot points going on in the series. Which, I
Yeah.
mean, she could have cut something out and included that, but like
The worm.
But
no,
the
not the worm.
the parabatai bond and them not being able to be together is a lot to unpack and potentially gets unpacked later in other books. So I think it would have been way like that, knowing that it would have been way too much to also include in this series too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it would be interesting, I think, to see if she would like write this series, like if she wrote it now, what would have changed, like what she would do differently.
I want to read something about the worm.
Okay, well, let's go to the worm, and then I have other things.
There's just one quote I want to read. It just, I remember I was reading this on the train and I burst out laughing. It's just so funny. It says, it's when like they're in the middle of fighting the worm, and it says, the worm yelped and spun, humping its body away from them with incredible speed.
What a visual.
Picturing like
I just picture this the worm from SpongeBob.
I think if I hear worm in any book, that's just what I think of.
Yeah, and Akatar too. There's a worm, and I'm like, there he is.
That's it.
The Alaskan bullworm.
Yep.
That's all I have to say about the worm.
Okay.
Yes.
So we saw Miss Jessamine Lovelace make a comeback in this book.
So true.
Just to come back and then die. So that was spicy.
She was like, hey.
And what is crazy is in book 1, Clockwork Angel. Yeah. She says at one point in that book, I would rather die than be a shadowhunter. Well, bestie, you got your wish. It happens. Which is what I thought Jessamine dying happened in the second book, so I was all ready for that to happen, then didn't. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of spicy. That whole battle scene.
I didn't remember at all that she died. And then her ghost is just there at the end. She's like, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, go do something.
Who? Church, the cat?
Oh, yes. I have a question.
Yeah. I'm like trying to put the pieces together. So Magnus took this cat to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And was it originally the Institute's cat or Magnus's cat?
I think.
Well, when we see Church in the Mortal Instruments, Church.
I know he's the Institute's cat.
Yeah.
But whose cat was he in this series?
He was Gem's. And then Magnus took him.
Oh, okay. So Church and Chairman Meow are not the same cat?
No, Chairman Meow is Magnus's cat.
Oh, okay. Because when they gave the cat to Magnus, I was like, wait. But he has a cat.
Yeah. I was like trying to put the piece. I was like, how did this man just get a cat? I was like, whose cat? This is vital.
Whose cat is this?
The most important part.
Whose cat is this cat?
So true.
I feel like I just keep saying things. There's this question. So did you guys cry this time around? Yes.
Let me count the ways. Okay, let's go through my blue tabs, shall we?
I posted a vlog kind of recently, and there's just like a solid minute of me just sobbing. Because the last 100 pages of this book are very mean.
Wait, what's the last 100 pages?
Well, it's when they return to the Institute. Jem is a silent brother, and Tessa's struggling. She's like in this weird, like half asleep, not quite awake situation. And the only way for her to like heal from that is to be able to say goodbye to Jem and have that peace with him. So he comes back to the Institute and they're chit-chatting, and then he goes to see Will, and then the two of them are chit-chatting. And first of all, the parallels with Jem at the end as a silent brother coming to talk to Will and like saying goodbye to him, and then he leaves and Charlotte comes they're in the weapons room and he comes in and she comes in after Jem. And that's how Will met Jem.
Yeah.
Will was in the weapons room. He was training and Charlotte came in with Jem and that's how they met.
No.
Yeah. 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 So that made me cry. Just one of the many things.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, it hurts.
Oh
It
my
hurts.
God. I hate that.
Yep.
Yeah, that scene with the Will and Jem at the end, that's I if you saw my vlog that I posted today, I kept talking about how I was crying on the train, and that was the scene I was reading.
Yeah.
Oh my God, okay, so when Jem is there, he's talking to Tessa, and then all of a sudden Jem, I'm like literally crying. When Jem goes to find Will and where? Oh yeah, and then when Will is like, but you are here to see Tessa, and Jem says, and you did not think I would take the chance, whatever chance I could, to see you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Will is saying like, but it's after like the battle, like you just left without saying goodbye, and then Jem says, how could I say farewell to you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then their whole conversation.
The whole page, every page.
Yeah.
Underline pain.
It's kind of effed up that Will's never going to be able to see Jem healthy.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah. Yeah. Casey's just saying things to cause chaos. It's also like Will thought Jem was like he wasn't like we're spiraling.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Why would you say that? Oh my God. Casey. Oh my God. It's just so sad. It's just so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that the only part that made me really, really sad and almost made me want to cry, which is like a testament to Cassandra Clare, sadly, is when Tessa had to grieve Will.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole scene where Will is dying.
Yeah.
Jem is playing the violin.
Well, and this is okay. Back it up. Remember at the beginning of this read along when you two were like, I don't get what's so sad about the end of Clockwork Princess.
Well, it's best case scenario. I stand by that.
It's bittersweet, but it's like you two are like, it's not sad. Like he died of old age. Like what's so sad?
I
Like,
really died of old age too.
Okay.
But,
Yes.
I just the scene at the end when all of the friends and family and kids come in, which all the kids not accurate, so don't pay any attention to that.
Oh,
I checked.
it's not accurate.
No, she made a family tree that's like on the I think dust jacket of Clockwork Princess, and that's like kind of referenced in that blog, and it's not accurate. So just the only character I can confidently say is James. It's the only one.
Yeah.
Oh.
But also
We'll find
just
out.
what I was gonna say. Tessa and Jem being there, witnessing Will, and then Jem playing the violin, like you were saying, because he doesn't get that opportunity because he's a silent brother. It's so.
Yep.
It's so
Okay.
good. It's
So
good.
here's me defending my past self, because when I read this book the first time, like all my friends, because I read it kind of late after it came out, so all my friends had already read it, and they kept being like, "Oh my god, Clockwork Princess is so sad. The ending is the saddest thing." And so I was like, "Oh my god, like Will is gonna die in this horrible way, and like I thought he was gonna die at like 17 or 18 or whatever." Because that's what like everyone kept telling me was like, "Oh my god, it's the saddest thing. It's so sad." So like in my head, I was prepared for like Will to have this like devastating death, and then he died of old age. So at the time when I read it, I was like, "Oh, okay, like that's not so bad." But this time,
it's just like emotional, like every emotion.
Daryan, 100%. Because I read this in like 2019 for the first time. So I was also expecting, like, she's doing, what math are you doing?
I was trying to figure out when I read it for the first time. You read this series for the first time in 2019?
I was in Poland. Yeah. May 2019. Poland? Yeah.
I didn't know you've been to Poland.
I just dropped a fat binder on your desk, didn't I? Yeah, I've been to Poland. We can talk about that later. But I brought the internal devices along with me to read. And that's when I went. So I was also expecting like kind of like the Burning God level of like tragedy. So this was not that.
Well, no, I don't think anyone would say
that's like, I hadn't read the Burning God at that time either. So obviously, so it was like, I was just expecting worst case scenario in every sense of the word. And and again, like when I first started, I was like, well, what else could you have wanted?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is a good ending, and there's good moments. I like just the way I can describe it is emotional, because there's like there's happy things, there's sad things, there's bittersweet things. Like the fact that Will thought he was gonna die, so like he assumed that he was just gonna die so early on. Like he lived a full life and was able to like marry the girl that he loved. It's just like, this man was so miserable and got a happy ending, as he should. And it's
you also got that snippet of Tessa like staying the same age for the like ever, and also like from her perspective, like seeing her children grow up and die, and then seeing her grandchildren do the same, and then their children, and it's like, I mean, we even see it in The Moral Instrument, where like we see the descendants of her family, but where's Tessa? So it's like, it's just like, I feel like we got an interesting snippet into like what she's been doing. Or like what it really is to be immortal, and that is sad. You know.
Imagine like your children growing older than you. It's just
like parents aren't supposed to outlive their children.
No,
it's just a rule of life.
Also, I found another blue tab when Jem thinks that like he's gonna die, and he like he's talking to everyone at the Institute, and he says to Charlotte, "You carry with you one of my few regrets." And then Charlotte looked at him puzzled. "I would have liked to see the baby."
Oh, baby.
I almost forgot about that. I really wish I had it reminded.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
It's fine, because you became a silent brother, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that boy just causes me so much pain.
Oh my god. Okay, so sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, something that we talked about in a live show, like it was one of the Mortal Instrument ones, but I don't remember which one. We learned that Jace has a like star birthmark on him somewhere. And someone was asking, is that significant? Is there a reason behind that? And at first I was like, I don't know. So I feel like there's significance, but I don't remember. And that's because the angel that was in Tessa's Clockwork Angel thing rested on him after they did the duty.
Yes.
And it left a mark on him, and was like, I think it like kind of passed that protection onto him, kind of. Also, it's the same that Valentine trapped in his
Angel.
basement. And
Wait,
was,
what?
This is the
Casey's
saddest part of
yelling
the
over me.
whole series.
Wait, say that again.
Casey just kept yelling.
I was gonna,
Angel.
Yeah.
Angel in we learn in City of Glass that Valentine trapped in the basement and was using the blood to like experiment on Clary.
Oh yeah.
That's the same Angel that was in Tessa's. That poor Angel keeps
Oh my god.
Yeah.
going through a lot.
That part. That's the saddest part of this whole book.
It's like I forgot that it was the same Angel, and like this time around, I went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew when they said his name, I was like, I know I've seen this name before.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what the context is.
It's
yeah,
just like, so weird to think about.
Yeah. I think it's in City of going back to. Oh, am I frozen? Did I just freeze?
Oh, you're back.
What just happened? Oh, okay. Going back to your first point is in City of Ashes. I think it was when I think it's the Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
that lady there, and she sees the thing on Jace, and she's like, I know who your father is, or something like that. But then she dies. I think that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, that's gonna be important. But I guess that scar like goes through his children.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah, it's like it becomes a mark on the Herondales after that.
Aww.
Yeah.
That means Will is related to Jace.
Bestie, yeah, we've known this.
I know, but now I'm thinking about it.
We've known this from page 1.
I know, but
Literally carbon copies of each other.
okay.
Eventually, we learn they have the same last name. Like,
Yeah.
weird.
Okay, well,
but it's just like that's just so wild. That I love that connection to the two series.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously like because this takes place so far before the Mortal Instruments, there's not a ton. Like we see some familiar names, but it's like beyond that. But I think that that's a really cool thing that she did there.
Yeah. Just to talk about Will, I think it's really interesting and like endearing how he's the first shadow hunter to be nice to Magnus.
Will is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even.
I just like he opened that relationship.
I love them so much.
Yeah, and like Will was mean to everyone, and like he had his reason, but it's just like so special that he was just the first.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know if
and that like set the tone for Magnus helping Shadowhunters forever, because literally all of these characters in every series would not make it without him.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of Magnus, there's a part where he says something. Hold on. Let's see. Where did I write it down? Oh, all Lightwoods look the same to me.
Yes.
And I wrote, honey, you've got a big storm coming.
So true. I don't know if I highlighted it or not, because there's a part where Magnus is with, I think it's Wolsey Scott, I think. And I'm getting mixed up because I'm currently reading the Bane Chronicles, so I'm like, what happens in which book? But he's with Wolsey Scott, and Wolsey's like, oh, are you in love with him? And he says no, and I can't remember what he says, but like whatever he says about Will in that moment, I remember being like, oh, yeah, I don't remember what it is. I'm trying to find it.
While you look for it, I'm going to click on this comment. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but I don't think you guys will ever read this anyway. But there's a comic by Cassandra Jean where Will shows briefly as a ghost and sees Jem and Tessa being happy. I feel like I've seen this, but I can't remember. So Will sees Jem being healthy. Thank you.
Oh,
for saving our sanity.
I need to see the I want to see the context of that to like appreciate like why Will's ghost is like suddenly here and viewing them.
I'll see if I can find.
Yeah, because that is wholesome.
Oh, okay, wait. This isn't the part I was talking about, but this is another Magnus and Will moment. when Jem is dying, and then he wants Will to go after Tessa, and then Magnus comes to see Jem, and then Magnus says he'll stay to watch over Jem while Will goes, and he says, "So I will tell you this, I will stay here when you go, and I will watch over your Jem for you, and if he wakes, I will tell him where you went and that it was for him." Like, so true. Oh my god, and then I think Kasey is the one who brought up the quote.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that says, "You endure what is unbearable and you bear it. That is all." That one.
That's the best quote she's ever written.
I simply can't.
We could have quit then, and it would
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I think about that every day of my life. When I'm depressed, I'm just like, you endure what is not bearable. You bear it. Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I didn't highlight this quote. Maybe it's near the beginning.
trying to think if there was anything else.
Well, there's still one thing, but I'm trying to see if I can find.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to find something while you were looking.
Okay, maybe I didn't highlight this, which is sad.
Oh, well, we got the reveal of what Tessa is.
Oh yeah.
Like half Shadowhunter, half Warlock.
Yeah, when did we find, was that in this book that we found out like the story of her mom?
Yes, I think so.
Kind of a dark story. Oh yeah, because then we find out the baby and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babies were switched.
Yeah, that was not good.
It's dark.
Yeah. It wasn't good. Oh, I can't believe Past Me didn't highlight this. What the heck? I'm upset. The word.
What are you trying to find?
I know there's a part where Willsey Scott asks Magnus, where like he's like, "Oh, you're in love with Will," and Magnus he says no, and then he says something that I really liked. I just don't remember what it is. It's probably not even.
No, but I know what you're talking about, but I don't know where that happened. We also have Henry and Magnus came together and invented portals.
Yeah.
Which are a thing that we see all the time in the Mortal Instruments. So that's pretty neat.
So, we also didn't talk about the console at all.
I was just gonna say
my god.
Hang on.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, he was every time any like the letters that he was writing came up, I was like, "Sir, you can choke." And then he did.
Yeah, then he died. And I was like, all right.
But it also like kind of seems like I don't know what the word is, I forgot it. Foreshadowing, that's it, of what's gonna happen in the Dark Artifices, or like what it's even happening in the Mortal Instruments, where it's just like you still see like that political unrest within the Shadowhunters.
Yeah.
And instability. And it, like I just think it like parallels with our own world really well.
Oh yeah. And I think like you said, like I think across all of the series we really see that the Shadowhunters, like they're a very corrupt, like their system is very corrupt. Yeah. And that becomes that's a big part of the Dark Artifices series. So should be interesting.
Yeah.
Also, there's another extra Cassie posted online of Jem and Tessa. Oh yeah, I read that. I read that this past time.
Oh wait, but this is like in present day. Them.
Well, it's in like 2008, I think. Like the epilogue after that.
I thought like in this timeline, them doing the bone. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and he tells Tessa about the whole new generation of Herondale's like, it's a Fairchild. Yeah.
I don't want to read that.
So you don't want to read that?
Yeah.
Well, honey, you got a big storm coming.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm just saying.
I have to read that?
Well, no, you don't have to. I'm just saying. Well, I'm assuming you're saying that because you don't like Jem and Tessa.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, honey. You got a big storm coming.
Oh boy. Okay, I don't think I can find this.
No, but I know what you're. I know.
Why didn't I highlight it? Was I okay? Unless that wasn't even in this book, but I thought.
No,
I remember it too.
Because it was when Will and Tessa went to Magnus and he was there, and then Will and Wolsey Scott fought, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
they fought, and then Magnus talked to Will.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that near the beginning?
It's near the beginning. Yeah, I forgot that Jem like starts dying and all that stuff starts happening like halfway through the book. For some reason, I thought that happened like way later on. So when all that started happening super early, I was like, oh no, I'm not prepared.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, I have found the chapter.
You found the chapter?
I think.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, thank God.
I didn't even highlight it. Okay, so it says, "Are you in love with him?" Wolsey asked, all curiosity.
Girl, tell us the page.
Oh, page 123.
Oh, I was just on that page.
Okay, so are you in love with him? Wolsey asked, all curiosity, no jealousy. Magnus wondered what it was like to have a heart like that, or rather to have no heart at all. No, Magnus said, I have wondered that, but no, it is something else. I feel that I owe him. I have heard it. Sorry, that reminded me of a musical theater song. I've heard it said that when you save a life, you're responsible for that life. I feel I am responsible for that boy. If he never finds happiness, I will feel I have failed him. If he cannot have that girl he loves, I will feel I have failed him. If I cannot keep his parabatai by him, I will feel that I failed him. And I'm like,
yeah.
Magnus.
Yeah.
And then Wolsey just says, then you will fail him. Like, okay. Whatever. Anyways, I liked that quote. But okay, I also wanted to talk about the other romances going on. Because I personally am a big fan of literally every single one. I mean, obviously Tessa and Will are my favorite, but I also just love Sophie and Gideon.
Sophie and Gideon is pure excellence. The part with the scones I have been waiting for this whole season. I just think that's so cute. He doesn't even like scones, but he kept ordering them because I could see her.
And then she got mad at him, and I was like, no.
I personally liked Cicely.
Yeah.
Cicely and Gabriel the most.
Stunning work.
I just thought, I don't know. I felt the angst between them. That was it.
Well, and I also think it's funny, and I saw a tweet about this like today, I think, that Gabriel spent so much of his life hating Will, and then he marries a carbon copy of him. It's like, sir,
yeah,
are you?
Just say it.
Just the way like he thinks about her is so cute because he's like, oh, she's pretty. Wait, why am I thinking that? And I'm like, oh, Gabriel, you silly little boy. I must. Oh, that's when Will and Tessa do the do. Okay, all right. Oh yeah, he says she was looking especially pretty today, though he had no idea why. Like,
he's a dumb boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and then it says, however, Gabriel reminded himself sternly, since they were most likely about to direct themselves all into mortal danger, thinking about whether Cecily was pretty ought not to be foremost on his mind. He told himself to stop immediately. I'm like, oh, bestie.
Oh, bestie.
You can't hide from me.
You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
I found the tweet.
Oh, excellent.
So someone tweeted, Gabriel not only married the female version of Will, he also reproduced a whole family tree of him. God bless that little gay man. Yeah. So
That's so funny.
Suspicious.
God bless little gay man.
Also,
oh my God, I can't wait to meet his little kids.
Also Charlotte and Henry. I know they've been there the whole series.
Yeah.
But I just love them.
Stunning
They're
work.
so underrated. I feel like everyone talks about everyone else, but I love them.
I still picture them as like 60 in my head. Like I can't get that image out of my brain. That's how I always saw them.
Not quite, bestie.
Alas. And then when Gideon proposes to Sophie, I think I read that part when I was on Zoom with you guys, and I was just crying.
Yep.
It's so sweet.
Gabriel's descendants look more like Will than Will's own descendants.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. Ding.
Wait, who are Gabriel's descendants? Because there's 2 Lightwoods.
Yeah, and I always get confused. I think Thomas. Wait, hold on. Hold on, everyone.
Oh, she's getting the family map.
I don't know any of these people except James.
Because the epilogue of this book like references the kids, and I was like, wait a minute. And I took this out because I was like, does this mean that this happens in the final book? But it's not right. It's not right. Okay, who are we? Cicely and Gabriel, Anna, Christopher, and Alexander.
Alexander.
He's like a baby. He's not.
Okay, yeah. Christopher, I do remember him. And who's the older one? Sure.
There's
say her name. Anna. Right?
Anna, yeah, a queen.
Yes.
For Kit and Alexander, the baby.
And then who is Gideon's and Sophie's?
Thomas. That's where I always get the Lightwoods confused. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
Thomas. I don't know how to say Eugenia.
Eugenia?
Yeah, sure. And Barbara.
Barbara. What kind of middle-aged woman's name is that?
Well, this was written in them.
Barbara.
Are they really in like? Do we follow them at all, Eugenia and Barbara?
We only really see Thomas.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But who is? Because I don't know much about the last hours, but I've heard like names, and because of which I won't talk too much about the Bane Chronicles, but now I know who James is.
Yeah,
and I know who I want to say Grace.
Grace. You carry us. It's a Florence and the Machine song, guys.
Sorry, Sam's being difficult.
Grace.
Everyone go listen to Grace by Florence and the Machine and then get back to me, please.
Okay. I just wasn't expecting that.
I realized that this wasn't the audience for it as soon as I was belting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Magnus says multiple times that dark hair and blue eyes is his favorite combination.
Yep. And he continues to say it.
Yep. So many times.
But names that I've heard, I know there's a Matthew, I want to say.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to do some math here. Hold on.
Hold on.
And there's, I want to say a Lucy. But I don't know who they are.
So, wait. No.
I'm waiting.
So,
don't tell me.
You're right. Okay, I'm with it now. I'm with it. Okay, so I was just trying to like figure out how
I'm with
Jace and Will were related, and Will and Alec were related, but Jason and Alec weren't related.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to do that math in my head.
They probably are. I feel like really technical.
Well, aren't they all like in this series? Aren't they all really? I mean, you know, in-laws, but they all just kind of connected in some way now. Because let's think about this. Will and Cecily are siblings, and then Gideon and Gabriel are siblings, and now Will is connected to both of them, which means he's also connected to Sophie.
Right.
And so all of them are connected to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
since Will marries Tessa, then she's also connected to them.
Wait, what Tessa Gray? Who's Fairchild? That's Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Right.
Don't say anything.
Sorry. You mentioned Matthew, and now I'm spiraling.
She's flustered.
Okay, also question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so from what you know about me,
What you know about me? What you know about me?
The hits keep coming. In both the Dark Artifices and the Last Hour. Last Hours. Oh, all of a sudden I was like, wait.
Wait.
Which one is it? But because, well, I guess Mortal Instruments, there's not really a man that I care about.
Fine.
But like, he's fine. But like, Will.
Whoa.
Not like
he's more than fine.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. But in the Dark Artifices and the Last Hours, do you think there's gonna be a Will equivalent for me that I'm gonna care about? And if so, what's their name?
I don't want to make any assumptions.
No, I think chances are it's gonna be in the Last Hours. I think it will probably be either James or Matthew.
If you don't love Matthew, we're not friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see a bit of James.
Yeah.
In the Bane Chronicles.
I think it'll probably be Matthew because he's a misunderstood boy.
He kind of has Will tortured soul.
Daryan's like, sign me up.
And I love him. So.
I love men with trauma.
So true.
I can fix him.
I'm interested to see if you like Julian or not from the Dark Artifices.
Oh, I wanted to flick him. He's so annoying.
People kind of either love him or hate him. So
like, just stop being a baby.
All I know is there's someone named Emma in Dark
Boss.
A fact.
That's all I know. And I want to say, I don't know which series this is, but I feel like there's someone named Kit.
You just keep saying the names that cause me to smile.
I'm sorry, I don't know these people.
Well, there's a Kit in the Dark Artifices, and there's a Christopher that gets called Kit in the Last Hours.
Oh, interesting.
And that's the tea. Well, is that everything? Any final thoughts?
I mean, I'm sad that the series is done. Why are you?
Yeah,
so true.
I am too, but I'm also like, oh hi, a boy.
He's angry. Oh, now he's not angry.
How to love both James and Matthew. Simple, split Will's characteristics into two characters.
So true.
You're not wrong.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
Sorry, we just need to watch Lazo.
As we should. That's why we're
Oh, okay. Whoa. Lazo. This is a family channel. But yeah, I really liked the series. I think that, in my opinion, the books got better. Oh, Bridget, so true. What a girl boss.
So true. Yeah.
She's the cook that sings all the time and then she fights.
Yeah. She was single-handedly defending them in that final battle. They would have again.
I got her.
Without her, Magnus.
So true.
Oh, so true.
Oh, Henry. His his legs he's paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah, poor baby.
Yeah, that's vital. I mean, for the Last Hours, that's a big. not a big hoo-ha, but it's pretty important for some characters.
That's a big hoo-ha.
I'm a big hoo-ha. But I was actually going to say, I think my favorite was the first.
Oh.
Yeah. I just thought that was the most fun. And like I was absorbed in it the most.
I think as the series progresses, it becomes more about the characters and about like the relationships, whether that's the romantic relationships or the friendships or whatever. So I think if you enjoy the characters and you enjoy the relationships, I think you tend to like Clockwork Princess the most. But I like the first one, definitely the plot in the first one is the most.
Yeah. And I think if you can say anything about me and this series is that I'm not obsessed with the characters. But like I appreciate that most people are, but it makes sense why the first one is my favorite then.
Yeah. And I feel like you said, like if you're not obsessed with the characters, I wouldn't see this being your favorite series.
Yeah.
But
definitely think it's better than the Mortal Instruments though.
I'm so happy we only have one book left.
So true.
And it's gonna be the finale, so
yeah. And then I can move on to things I haven't read yet.
I was gonna say, I think so September this month, we're reading The Bane Chronicles.
Mr. Bane. I don't have it.
Magnus.
Hold on.
Magnus.
Hold on.
Mr. Magnus. Look at him.
Yeah.
Phone girl.
So true. So that's what we're reading in September. And then I think we said this is the last live show, like the rest of the year. But City of Heavenly Fire is October. Tales from a Shadowhunter Academy is November. And then Lady Midnight is December.
Yeah.
Can you believe we're doing this?
Excited. What did you say, Kasey?
Can you believe we're doing this? We're making progress.
Yeah.
So, wait, did we announce this like in December of last year and start in January?
Yeah. I know.
Don't
you so good.
Also, this has nothing to do with the Shadowhunters, but you know what I realized before is that soon it's gonna be 2 years since we made the group chat for the Taylor Swift playlist.
Yours is usually my limit with some friends.
Oh no. Nice, Daryan.
Well,
we're gonna have to be
well, we're committed. We're contractually committed with this readathon.
We're reading Chain of Thorns in August of next year, so you're gonna have to deal with us until then.
Yeah.
So true. You guys got me until then.
After
that, I'm a loose agent.
So true. Okay, well, then I'm not going to tell you what the date is. Because then you'll know.
Oh, I don't want to know the date.
Well,
what date?
The date that we made the group chat.
Oh, tell me.
Okay, well, if I'm remembering correctly, it was October 1st. I'm quite sure. So that's
spooky besties.
I like messaged Lisa and I was like, hey, I have this really cool idea.
Literally, I still can't believe that was, I think that's proof of the power of the besties, because we were already planning it. Then Kasey was like, Lisa, I have this idea.
Yeah.
You're not gonna believe it.
Wow.
Get a load of this.
And then Lisa messaged me and she was like, do you know Kasey? Because she just messaged me.
Are you familiar?
And I was like, oh, I know Kasey.
Do you? Oh, yeah.
Kasey didn't know me. But that's okay.
Now I do.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone who joined us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reading. Like I said, Bane Chronicles, September. Probably whose channel is that on? Kasey's?
I think it's mine.
That'll be on Kasey's channel, probably in the first couple weeks or so of next month.
I'm already reading it. Can you believe it?
It's on the docket. It's gonna be the next 3 books I read, so
we're all gonna be ahead.
I
don't think that's happened this whole
Yeah, I'm always late.
This is a rare occasion for us.
Yeah.
Proud of our work.
Power of Magnus Bane.
So true.
Round of applause for Magnus. Yeah, listen, that's a discussion for next month.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.